Welcome back to the channel and Treasure Hunter. Today we're talking about one of the most common coins in America, the Lincoln Memorial Penny. Most people think it's only worth 1 cent, but some of these pennies are worth hundreds, thousands, even over $50,000. In this video, I'll show you the most valuable Lincoln Memorial 1 cent coins, how to identify rare varieties, and what details you need to check before spending your pennies. So grab your coin jar, check your pocket change, and let's find out if you're holding a small fortune. Let's get started. First up, in terms of composition, the 1981 Lincoln Memorial cent is particularly interesting because 1981 was one of the final years before the major composition change that occurred in mid-1982, when the mint transitioned from a primarily copper alloy planchet to a copper-plated zinc core, and therefore all 1981 cents are composed of approximately 95% copper and 5% zinc with a weight of about 3.11 grams, and this heavier copper composition is significant because copper prices have fluctuated over the decades, and many collectors appreciate pre-1982 copper cents for their intrinsic metal value, even though it is illegal to melt cents for bullion value under current United States regulations, and the coin has a diameter of 19 millimeters and features a plain edge, and when examining an uncirculated example, collectors look for full red coloration, which is referred to as RD in grading terminology, meaning the coin retains at least 95% of its original red mint color as opposed to RB red-brown or BN brown designations, and the brilliance of the luster, the absence of contact marks, and the sharpness of the strike all contribute to the overall grade, which can range from MS60 to MS70 on the Sheldon grading scale. When discussing value, the 1981 Lincoln Memorial cent in uncirculated condition is generally affordable because of its high mintage, which exceeded several billion pieces, and in lower uncirculated grades such as MS60 to MS63, the coin is typically worth between $1 and $3 depending on eye appeal and market conditions, and in MS64 to MS65 red condition, values often range from $5 to perhaps $15, with certified examples from major grading services commanding a premium, and in very high grades such as MS66 or MS67 red, the value can rise significantly, sometimes reaching $50, $100 or more, especially if population reports indicate relative scarcity at the top levels, and coins graded MS68 red are extremely rare and may sell for several $100s at auction, although such prices depend heavily on demand, registry competition, and overall market sentiment, and it is important to note that these values fluctuate over time based on supply-demand, copper prices, grading standards, and collector interest, and therefore anyone considering subscription to coin price guides or market tracking services should consult reputable sources such as official price guides, auction archives, and population data to stay informed about current trends. Authentication and grading play a crucial role in determining the true market worth of an uncirculated 1981 Lincoln cent, and many collectors choose to submit their coins to third-party grading companies for professional evaluation, encapsulation, and certification, and this process involves verifying authenticity, assessing surface preservation, strike luster, and color, and assigning a numerical grade that is recognized in the marketplace, and certified coins often trade more easily and at higher prices because buyers have confidence in the impartial assessment, and the protective holder preserves the coin from environmental damage and mishandling, and while raw uncirculated coins can still hold value, especially if stored carefully in archival quality holders, the premium associated with top-graded certified examples demonstrates the importance of condition rarity within modern coin series. The historical context of the early 1980s also adds depth to the story of the 1981 Lincoln cent, as the United States was undergoing economic challenges, including high inflation, interest rates, and shifting industrial costs, which influenced coin production and metal sourcing, and the impending change in composition in 1982 reflected the rising cost of copper and the need for the mint to reduce production expenses, and collectors often view 1981 as a transitional year preceding this significant shift, making it part of a broader narrative about how economic forces shape coinage policy and design decisions, and this connection between macroeconomic trends and everyday pocket change illustrates how even a humble 1 cent coin can serve as a tangible artifact of national history. From a collecting strategy perspective, assembling a high-grade set of Lincoln Memorial cents from 1959 through 2008 can be both challenging and rewarding, and while many dates including 1981 are common in lower mint state grades, achieving a uniform collection of gem-quality red examples requires patience, careful searching, and sometimes substantial financial investment, and collectors often search original bank-wrapped rolls, mint sets, and estate collections in hopes of discovering superb specimens, and the thrill of finding an exceptionally well-preserved 1981 cent with blazing red luster, minimal contact marks, and strong strike detail continues to motivate enthusiasts across the country. Storage and preservation are essential considerations for maintaining the uncirculated status and value of a 1981D Lincoln Memorial cent, and copper coins are particularly susceptible to environmental factors such as humidity, temperature fluctuations, and airborne contaminants, which can cause spotting, toning, or discoloration over time, and experts recommend storing coins in inert holders such as Mylar flips, acid-free cardboard holders, or professionally sealed slabs, and keeping them in a stable, low humidity environment, away from direct sunlight, and handling should always be done by holding the edges to avoid transferring oils from the skin onto the surfaces, which can permanently affect the appearance and grade of the coin. Market demand for Lincoln cents remains strong because they are widely collected by hobbyists of all ages and experience levels, and the familiarity of the Lincoln portrait combined with the affordability of most dates makes the series an accessible entry point into numismatics and online marketplaces. Coin shows, local coin shops, and auction platforms provide venues for buying and selling 1981D uncirculated cents, and subscription-based coin collecting communities offer educational resources, price tracking tools, and discussion forums that help collectors stay informed about grading standards, market movements, and investment strategies, and staying engaged with reputable numismatic organizations and publications can enhance knowledge and confidence when evaluating potential purchases or sales. When creating a long-form script about the 1981D Lincoln Memorial 1-cent coin, it is important to structure the content into thematic sections, beginning with an engaging introduction about the legacy of Abraham Lincoln and the enduring popularity of the Lincoln cent, followed by detailed discussions of design history, minting process, composition specifications, grading standards, value analysis, collecting strategies, preservation tips, and market outlook, and throughout the presentation, visual aids such as close-up images, grading comparison charts, and auction result screenshots can help viewers better understand the nuances of condition and value, and a clear narrative that connects historical context, economic factors, and modern collecting trends will keep the audience engaged for an extended runtime approaching 40 minutes while providing educational depth and practical insights. In conclusion, the 1981D Lincoln Memorial 1-cent coin in uncirculated condition represents far more than a simple piece of pocket change, as it embodies over a century of American history, artistic craftsmanship, economic adaptation, and collector passion, and while its base value in most uncirculated grades remains modest due to high mintage, the pursuit of top-quality examples certified at the highest mint state levels can yield significantly higher premiums and long-term appreciation potential, and by understanding its historical background, composition, grading criteria, market dynamics, and preservation requirements, collectors and investors alike can make informed decisions and fully appreciate the enduring significance of this small yet symbolically powerful copper coin within the broader landscape of United States numismatics. Next up, the 1982 Lincoln Memorial 1-cent coin without a mint mark struck in the United States of America, and this fascinating coin represents a major turning point in American numismatic history because the year 1982 was the year when the United States Mint changed the composition of the cent from mostly copper to copper-plated zinc, and that single decision created multiple varieties within the same year, which makes 1982 one of the most complex years for Lincoln cents ever produced. And the coin features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse design, originally created by Victor David Brenner, and on the reverse it displays the Lincoln Memorial Building, which gives this series its popular name, the Lincoln Memorial cent, and this design was produced by the United States Mint for circulation across the country. The 1982 Lincoln cent without a mint mark means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint because coins produced in Philadelphia during that period typically did not carry a mint mark, and this detail is important because 1982 cents were struck at multiple facilities including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, but only the Denver coins carry the D mint mark and the San Francisco coins were mostly proofs. So when you hold a 1982 cent without a mint mark, you are holding a Philadelphia issue, and within Philadelphia production, there were both copper alloy versions and zinc core versions, and understanding the difference between those two is absolutely critical for determining value and collectability, and weight is the key factor because copper cents weigh about 3.11 grams while zinc cents weigh about 2.5 grams. Now let us talk about composition, because prior to 1982, the Lincoln cent was composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, and that classic bronze composition gave older cents a heavier feel and a richer tone, but due to rising copper prices in the late 1970s and early 1980s, the cost of producing a copper cent began to exceed its face value, which forced the United States Mint to adopt a new composition consisting of a pure zinc core coated with a thin layer of copper, and this transition occurred mid-year in 1982, meaning some 1982 cents are copper and some are zinc, and for collectors the copper 1982 without mint mark is generally more desirable than the zinc version, especially in uncirculated condition, because it represents the end of an era in American coinage. Uncirculated condition is another major factor in determining value because an uncirculated coin is one that has never entered general circulation and therefore retains its original mint luster sharp details and no visible wear on high points such as Lincoln's cheek jawline coat and the steps of the Lincoln Memorial and grading services such as Professional Coin Grading Service and Numismatic Guarantee Company use the Sheldon grading scale, which ranges from 1 to 70, and an uncirculated coin typically falls between mint state 60 and mint state 70, and the higher the grade the higher the potential value, especially if the coin exhibits strong red coloration, which is designated as RD in grading terminology. In terms of value, most 1982 Lincoln cents without mint mark in uncirculated condition are common because millions were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, and typical mint state 60 to 63 examples might be worth only a few cents to perhaps $1 or $2 depending on eye appeal, but higher grade examples such as mint state 65 or higher with full red surfaces can command significantly higher premiums, and coins graded mint state 67 red by major grading services have sold for much higher prices at auction because condition rarity becomes the driving force rather than mintage numbers, and auction platforms such as heritage auctions have documented strong results for superb gem examples. Another important factor when discussing the 1982 cent is the existence of multiple varieties, including large date and small date versions, and collectors must carefully examine the shape of the numerals in the date, especially the number 2, because the small date variety has a more delicate appearance with a curved top on the 2, while the large date appears bolder and thicker, and combining date size with composition results in several collectible combinations, and while the rarest variety of 1982 is actually the 1982 Denver small date copper cent, which is a key rarity. The Philadelphia issues without mint mark remain widely collected because they represent the historic transition year, and many collectors attempt to assemble complete sets of all 1982 varieties. When determining subscription value or long-term investment potential, it is important to understand that common date Lincoln Memorial cents are generally not high-value investment coins unless they are in exceptionally high grades, but they can serve as educational tools and entry points into the hobby of numismatics and collectors who subscribe to coin price guides such as Coin World or use valuation resources from the American Numismatic Association, often track auction records population reports and market trends to determine whether a particular grade level is gaining in scarcity, and subscription services from grading companies can also provide population data showing how many examples exist in each grade, which directly impacts market value. If you believe you have a 1982 copper cent without mint mark in uncirculated condition, the first step is to weigh the coin using a precise digital scale capable of measuring to at least 2 decimal places, because the difference between 3.11 grams and 2.5 grams determines composition, and then examine the surfaces under magnification to ensure there is no wear, and consider professional grading. If the coin appears to be in very high mint state condition because encapsulation by a respected grading service can enhance liquidity and buyer confidence, and storing the coin in a protective holder away from moisture, heat, and environmental contaminants will preserve its original red color, which significantly affects value. Historically, the Lincoln Memorial reverse design was introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and it replaced the earlier wheat reverse and remained in production until 2008 before being replaced in 2009 by the Lincoln Bicentennial designs, and later the Union Shield reverse, and this long production span makes Lincoln Memorial cents one of the most familiar coins in American commerce, and the 1982 issue stands out as a technological and economic milestone reflecting the financial pressures of the era and the adaptation of minting technology to reduce production costs while maintaining public trust in circulating coinage. In conclusion, the 1982 Lincoln Memorial 1-cent coin without mint mark in uncirculated condition is generally a common coin in most grades, but it holds tremendous historical importance because it marks the transition from copper to zinc composition, and collectors value it for its role in American monetary history, and while most examples are worth only modest premiums above face value, exceptionally high-grade red specimens certified by leading grading companies determining true worth, and for anyone interested in building knowledge about United States coinage, this coin serves as a perfect case study in how economics, metallurgy, design, and collecting culture all intersect within a single small 1-cent piece. 1983 Lincoln Memorial cent in uncirculated condition without a mint mark. The first step is understanding what uncirculated truly means within the Sheldon grading scale, which ranges from mint state 60 to mint state 70, and an uncirculated coin shows no signs of wear from circulation, though it may have contact marks from mint handling and bag storage, and coins graded MS60 to MS63 may display noticeable abrasions, while coins graded MS65 and above, known as gem uncirculated, display strong luster. Minimal marks and attractive eye appeal, and coins graded MS67 or higher are considered superb and extremely scarce for many common dates, and in 1983 Philadelphia struck billions of cents, meaning that in lower mint state grades the coin is extremely common and generally valued at only a small premium over face value, often between a few cents and perhaps $1 depending on quality, but in higher certified grades such as MS67 or MS68 examples graded by major third-party grading services can sell for significantly more because registry set collectors compete for the finest known examples, and population reports show dramatic rarity at the highest levels, which creates a large price gap between average uncirculated coins and top-tier specimens, and this dramatic contrast in value is a key talking point for any long-form educational script, since it demonstrates how condition rarity rather than simple age determines market price. Another crucial subject for a deep dive presentation is the existence of notable varieties, especially the famous 1983 Doubled Die Reverse variety, often abbreviated as DDR, which exhibits strong doubling visible on the lettering of E pluribus unum and 1 cent, and this variety has become one of the most recognized modern era coins because the doubling is bold and easily identifiable even without magnification, and authenticated examples in uncirculated condition can command hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on grade, which stands in stark contrast to normal business strike examples that remain common, and therefore when discussing the value of a 1983 cent without mint mark, it is absolutely essential to distinguish between a standard strike and a double die variety, because collectors and viewers may confuse general online price claims with actual realized auction results, and a detailed explanation of how to identify the double die, including examining the reverse inscriptions under proper lighting using magnification and comparing with verified reference images, is a powerful educational component that can sustain extended content and maintain viewer engagement throughout a long YouTube script. In addition to double dies, there are transitional era discussions that fascinate collectors because 1982 was the primary transition year from copper to zinc, yet extremely rare off-metal transitional pieces have been reported when leftover copper planchets were accidentally struck with later dies, and although genuine 1983 copper cents are extraordinarily rare and highly valuable, they are also heavily counterfeited by altering 1982 copper cents or plating coins to increase weight, and therefore any claim of a 1983 copper cent must be verified by precise weight measurement of approximately 3.11 grams and professional authentication, and this topic allows for an extended discussion about how to test a coin using a digital gram scale, how to inspect edge plating seams, how to avoid damaging the coin during testing, and why professional certification is necessary before assuming high value, and this cautionary narrative adds credibility and educational depth suitable for a comprehensive presentation that aims to inform viewers rather than promote unrealistic expectations. Market value analysis for a normal 1983 Philadelphia cent in uncirculated condition typically shows modest premiums because of enormous mintage figures exceeding 7 billion pieces, and such high production numbers mean survival rates in mint state remain plentiful, especially in original bankrolls and mint sewn bags that were saved by collectors and investors during the early 1980s, and as a result, raw, uncirculated examples might sell for only a small premium, often less than $2. Unless they display exceptional red coloration known as RD designation, which indicates full original mint red luster rather than red-brown or brown tones, and color designation significantly impacts value because copper-plated zinc cents are prone to spotting discoloration and environmental damage, and therefore a fully brilliant red coin free from carbon spots and marks is more desirable, and this nuanced discussion about color grading distinctions between RD, RB, and BN classifications helps extend the educational value of the script while providing practical insight for collectors evaluating their own coins. Professional grading services play a significant role in determining market value because coins certified by major companies such as PCGS and NGC often command higher prices due to authentication guarantees, standardized grading, and inclusion in population reports and registry competitions, and a comprehensive script would explain how submission works, including membership requirements, submission tiers, grading fees, turnaround times, and the difference between bulk submissions and individual collector submissions, and it would also analyze whether submitting a common 1983 cent for grading is financially sensible given that grading fees may exceed the coin's market value unless the coin appears to qualify for a very high mint state grade or a recognized error variety, and this cost-benefit analysis provides realistic guidance and helps viewers avoid unnecessary expenses while understanding how the professional coin market operates at an advanced level. Historical context enhances viewer engagement because the year 1983 occurred during the presidency of Ronald Reagan, a time when inflation pressures from the late 1970s had influenced commodity prices, including copper, which directly led to the composition change that affected the Lincoln cent, and integrating economic history into the narrative explains why the mint sought cost-effective production solutions and how metallic content can influence coinage policy, and this macroeconomic perspective elevates the script beyond simple price discussion, transforming it into a broader exploration of monetary policy, mint operations, and the relationship between metal markets and circulating coinage, which supports a long-form presentation capable of sustaining attention for an extended duration. Storage preservation and handling techniques also warrant detailed explanation because uncirculated coins can quickly lose value if mishandled, and viewers should be educated about holding coins by the edges, avoiding fingerprints, using inert holders such as Mylar flips, archival quality coin capsules, or certified slabs, and storing coins in low humidity environments to prevent zinc corrosion and copper plating deterioration. And discussion can include common issues such as zinc bubbling, plating, blisters, and spotting that are characteristic of post-1982 cents, and how these flaws affect grading outcomes and resale potential, and providing preventive auction records and secondary market platforms offer insight into real-world pricing because while price guides may list optimistic figures, actual realized sales on major auction houses and online marketplaces often tell a more accurate story, and explaining how to research completed sales rather than asking prices teaches viewers critical market literacy and differentiates between hype and documented transactions, and incorporating hypothetical case studies comparing a raw MS-63 coin versus a certified MS-67RD example versus a doubled die reverse specimen can illustrate dramatic value differences and sustain a structured narrative arc that guides viewers from common examples to rare exceptions, thereby maintaining engagement throughout an extended script. In conclusion, the 1983 Lincoln Memorial 1-cent coin without mint mark in uncirculated condition is generally a common modern coin worth modest premiums unless it possesses exceptional grade quality, full red luster, or a recognized error variety such as the doubled die reverse, yet its educational value is substantial because it represents a transitional era in United States coinage composition, economic adaptation, and modern collecting dynamics, and by exploring design history, mint production, grading standards, market realities, preservation techniques, authentication procedures, and economic background, a content creator can craft an in-depth, approximately 40-minute script that informs, inspires, and equips viewers with expert-level understanding while maintaining realistic expectations about value and reinforcing the principle that knowledge, research, and careful examination are the true keys to success in coin collecting. Next up, the 1984 D. Lincoln Memorial 1-cent coin from the United States of America, and we begin with the historical background of the Lincoln cent, first introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, marking the first time a real historical figure appeared on regular issue United States coinage, and this tradition continued with the memorial reverse introduced in 1950. Celebrating the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and by 1984, the coin had already become one of the most recognized pieces of American currency, circulating in billions across the nation and produced at multiple mint facilities, including Denver, which is identified by the small D mint mark located below the date on the obverse side of the coin. In 1984, the Denver Mint struck billions of cents to meet commercial demand, and because of this high mintage, the coin is common in circulated grades, yet finding pristine uncirculated examples with strong luster, sharp strike, and minimal contact marks requires careful searching through mint rolls, bank-wrapped rolls, or original mint sets, and collectors who understand grading standards know that even tiny differences in surface preservation can dramatically affect value, especially when submitting coins to third-party grading services for encapsulation and certification. The composition of the 1984 D cent is copper-plated zinc with a core that makes up most of the weight, while the thin outer copper layer gives the coin its traditional reddish appearance, and this change in metallic composition that began in 1982 was driven by rising copper prices and economic necessity, and collectors sometimes weigh their coins to confirm composition because earlier copper alloy cents weigh about 3.1 grams while zinc cents weigh about 2.5 grams, and this technical detail helps avoid confusion when examining transitional year varieties. When evaluating value in uncirculated condition, experts consider factors such as original mint red color, absence of brown toning, strong cartwheel luster, minimal bag marks, clean fields, and sharp details on Lincoln hair and beard, as well as clear lines in the Lincoln Memorial columns on the reverse, and coins designated as red abbreviated RD are generally more desirable than red brown or brown examples because they preserve the original appearance intended by the mint at the time of striking. One of the most famous varieties for 1984 is the doubled ear error, which displays noticeable doubling on Lincoln ear and sometimes on other nearby features, and this variety resulted from a double die during the hubbing process, and it has become highly sought after by error collectors and specialists who examine coins under magnification, and authenticated high-grade examples can sell for substantial premiums, far exceeding the value of a normal 1984 D cent. Market value fluctuates according to supply-demand, overall condition, and certification status, and typical raw, uncirculated coins might trade for a small premium above face value, while certified high-grade pieces, especially those graded MS66 or higher by leading grading companies, can reach higher price points at auction, and population reports help collectors determine scarcity at each grade level, and subscription access to detailed pricing databases can provide insight into recent realized sales. Storage and preservation are essential for maintaining uncirculated condition, and collectors often use archival quality holders, coin flips made of mylar inert plastic capsules, or professionally sealed slabs to protect against environmental damage, moisture, fingerprints, and oxidation, which can quickly reduce a bright red coin to a dull brown surface, and careful handling by the edges only is recommended to avoid skin oils transferring to the surface. Historical context adds meaning to the 1984 D cent because it circulated during a period of economic growth, technological change, and cultural development in the United States, and each coin represents a tangible artifact of that era, connecting everyday commerce with national heritage and the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln, whose leadership during the Civil War preserved the Union and whose image continues to symbolize unity and freedom. For viewers interested in building a collection, starting with affordable modern issues like the 1984 D cent can be an accessible entry point into numismatics, and searching through bankrolls for high-grade coins or varieties can be both educational and financially rewarding, and joining coin clubs, attending shows, and subscribing to numismatic publications enhances knowledge and provides community support for collectors of all experience levels. In conclusion, the 1984 D Lincoln Memorial 1-cent coin in uncirculated condition holds modest monetary value in most cases, yet it carries significant historical and educational importance, and by understanding grading, composition, minting process, varieties, and market trends, collectors can make informed decisions whether preserving coins for personal enjoyment, investment, or long-term legacy. And this comprehensive overview serves as a foundation for deeper exploration into the fascinating world of United States coin collecting and the enduring story of the Lincoln Cent series. Next up, the 1985 D Lincoln Memorial 1-cent coin is part of the long-running Lincoln Cent series that began in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln, and the memorial design on the reverse features the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., which makes this small copper-plated coin one of the most recognized pieces of United States currency, and the D Mint mark indicates it was struck at the Denver Mint, and in 1985 the United States Mint produced billions of these cents for circulation, making them extremely common, even in high-grade uncirculated condition, and because of that large mintage, most examples are worth only a small premium over face value unless they are in exceptional certified condition or display rare mint errors. The 1985 D cent was struck in a composition of copper-plated zinc, which had been introduced in 1982 due to rising copper prices, and the coin weighs approximately 2.5 grams with a diameter of 19.05 millimeters and features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse designed by Victor David Brenner, whose initials VDB appear at the base of the bust, and the reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, shows the Lincoln Memorial with a tiny representation of the seated statue of Lincoln visible between the columns, and this design remained in use until 2008 before being replaced in 2009 with commemorative bicentennial reverses. In terms of mintage, the 1985 D Lincoln Cent had a production of more than 5 billion pieces, which means it is very easy to find in circulation rolls, mint sets, and uncirculated rolls saved by collectors, and because of this abundance, the typical value of an uncirculated example graded around MS60 to MS63 is usually between 1 cent and perhaps 25 cents depending on eye Appeal, luster, and market demand. While coins graded MS-65 may sell for a few dollars and superb gem examples graded MS-67 by professional grading services can command higher prices, sometimes reaching $50 or more depending on auction results and registry competition. Collectors often search for high-grade red examples with full original mint luster because Lincoln cents are categorized by color designations such as brown, and full red, and a bright full red uncirculated 1985 D cent is more desirable than one that has toned or darkened over time, and grading services like PCGS and NGC evaluate strike quality, surface preservation, and overall eye appeal when assigning a numeric grade, and since billions were struck, only a tiny fraction survive in near perfect condition, free of marks, making the highest grades the key to higher value rather than rarity of date. Error varieties can add significant value to a 1985 D cent, and collectors may look for double die errors, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, or repunched mint marks, although by 1985 mint marks were applied directly to the master die, so repunched mint marks are less common than in earlier decades, and some minor double die varieties exist, but they are generally subtle and require magnification to identify, and major dramatic errors are scarce, which means that unless your coin displays a clearly visible mint error, its value will usually remain modest. If your coin is truly uncirculated, meaning it shows no wear on the high points and retains full mint luster, then it may be worth submitting for professional grading only if it appears nearly flawless, because grading fees can exceed the market value of an average example, and collectors often purchase original bank-wrapped rolls from the 1980s hoping to find superb gem coins that could achieve MS-67 or higher grades and compete in registry sets dedicated to Lincoln Memorial cents. The historical significance of the Lincoln cent series adds emotional and educational value beyond simple market price, because Abraham Lincoln remains one of the most respected presidents in American history, known for leading the nation through the Civil War and issuing the Emancipation Proclamation, and the image of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse symbolizes unity and remembrance, connecting everyday pocket change to important national ideals, and this symbolism has made the Lincoln cent a gateway coin for generations of collectors. When discussing subscription details related to coin collecting, many enthusiasts join organizations such as the American Numismatic Association, which offers educational resources, grading seminars, publications, and market updates, and collectors also subscribe to coin price guides, auction archives, and channels dedicated to numismatics, where experts analyze coins like the 1985 D cent and provide insights into grading, investment strategies, and error detection, helping hobbyists make informed decisions. You could structure the content by beginning with the history of the Lincoln cent, then transition into the specifics of the 1985 D issue, including mintage, composition, and design details, followed by a deep explanation of grading standards, mint state classifications, color designations, and population reports, then dedicate a section to errors and varieties, market trends, auction records, storage methods, and long-term preservation tips, and conclude with advice on whether such a coin should be considered an investment or primarily a collectible hobby item, emphasizing realistic expectations about value. In conclusion, the 1985 D Lincoln Memorial 1 cent coin in uncirculated condition is a common modern issue with modest monetary value, typically ranging from face value to a few dollars depending on grade and color, with higher premiums possible only for superb gem certified examples or dramatic mint errors, and while it is unlikely to fund retirement, it remains an important part of United States numismatic history, representing both the legacy of Abraham Lincoln and the era of copper-plated zinc coinage, and its true worth often lies more in the enjoyment of collecting, education, and historical appreciation than in significant financial return. Thanks for watching.